Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're having a fantastic day so far. Welcome back to Everyday October, where I am posting a new cruelty-free makeup review every single day in the month of October, and I usually start these little intros by saying affordable and cruelty-free. However, all of these eyeshadow palettes I'm going to be talking about today are cruelty-free. They are cruelty-free, and a lot of them are affordable. A lot of them are very, very affordable. The cheapest one that I'm going to be talking about today, I do believe, is around about £3.75. So like, you can't get much more affordable than that for an eyeshadow palette. However, I do treat myself every now and again to an indie eyeshadow palette. UK indie brands, American indie brands, I love them all. I'm not geographically strict. However, my most expensive palette that I've got here, I think cost me around about £75. So I do have expensive taste when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, but I've also got some really, really affordable options here. I love all of these palettes for autumn, but also autumnal makeup is my favourite, so I do use these all year round as well. So let's start with what I've got on my eyeballs currently. I have already posted this whole look. It was either yesterday or the day before, or maybe the day before that. It was recently. I will leave it linked in case you want to know how I created this look. But the palette that I used for this was the Bella Beauty Bar Dark Dreamscape palette. I'm just going to start by saying I think that this is going to be potentially my favourite palette of the year, because there is so little that I would change about this palette. It's beautiful to me. It's so perfect to me. It's incredible. The mattes, like I said, this is the palette that I'm wearing today. The mattes are so pigmented but also so easy to blend. The shimmers, the straight shimmers are insane. The duochromes, the multichromes, I love them all. Incredible quality. And yes, you are paying a little bit more. This is a more expensive palette. It is higher up there than, for example, the next one I'm going to talk about, which is from MUA. It is more expensive, but the quality of these eyeshadows and the colour story and the packaging, it's magnetic, so you can take these out. You can change the layout of all the shades. You can create your own little mini palette. I love this palette, and for autumn, but also all year round. Like, this to me looks autumnal because you've got the deeper like jewel tones, but also you've still got your pastels. There's still so much brightness. I actually feel like this is quite deceptive, in that just looking at it now, it looks very, very dark. I'm aware of that. It looks very, very dark. However, when I swatched this out in my first impression, which I will leave linked, it's not as dark as I first thought. I thought that this was going to be a very dark, very smoky, intense palette and colour story. It's not. It's very, very mid-tone, which I love. If you're very fair like me and you want something that has that depth, there is still absolutely that depth there. It's got that variety. It's got those pastel, intense, like the blue that I've got on my inner corner currently. It's got that. It's also got the deepest, darkest greys. It's also got everything in between. I love this palette. So, like I say, the next one that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to carefully put these on my floor, because if you have seen these eyeshadow videos before, you know I try and like carefully stack them up on my table, and then they end up falling, and then I end up breaking things. So I'm going to put these on the floor and then try and remember not to stand on them when I get up at the end of this video. So next up is the MUA Cherry Kiss eyeshadow palette. I really, really rate MUA eyeshadows. The thing with this one is you're only really going to be able to get one sort of look with it, but if that look is one that you like, you're set. You're absolutely set with this palette. Obviously you can only do a deep red burgundy cherry sort of a look with this palette, but that sort of look is very autumnal. That sort of look is beautiful, and again, you've only got 5 shades, so you're limited in the amount of variety that you can do, but the quality of MUA eyeshadow palettes, and I highly, highly recommend these little 5-pan palettes. I have all of them, nearly all of them. I think there's a couple that I haven't got. All of them are fantastic. So if there is one, not even necessarily this one, like this one is very autumnal to me and how I like to do my makeup and the colour stories that I enjoy. If there is another one that sparks autumnal joy within you, I highly, highly recommend. And I think around about £3.75. And you can get them on Superdrug. Like, you could get it next day delivery. Incredible. They're also on TikTok Shop. I highly recommend the whole collection, the Cherry collection, in case you are wondering. Like I say, I will leave that video linked. So, next up is Samplr. This is the Energy palette. This is the one that feels most autumnal to me because pumpkin spice, but also sort of cranberry, berry, deeper sort of jewel tones, and also the greens. I'm so desperate to do a 3 looks with this palette. I just haven't found the time to fit it in the madness that is Everyday October, but I'm hoping that, you know, November will come around and I'll have a little bit more spare time and I will be able to do a 3 looks with this palette. I did a like chatty get ready with me and I did more of a pumpkin spice look. I love this colour story. I love the greens with the purples with the warmer tones. I definitely lean more towards warmer tones rather than cool tones and greys. They're not really what I enjoy. I like bright colours and I like warm tones, and that is where I feel very comfortable, where I feel it suits me more. And I know that a lot of people love cool tones, and I love that for you, but that's just not what I personally enjoy. This is so warm and colourful, and the shimmers are just shimmers. They're not the special shades, they're not the duochromes or the multichromes. However, the shimmers are absolutely beautiful in this. And since I have been talking about Samplr more, I feel like a lot of people have come round to the, not because I've been talking about it, but just in general, people are sort of remembering how beautiful shimmers are, how beautiful a glittery shade is. You don't need a duochrome. And this is like me talking to myself as I'm editing this. Millie, you don't need a duochrome or a multichrome every single day. A shimmer is also beautiful. And the shimmers in these really, really are beautiful. The quality is incredible. Again, it's magnetic, so you can change it up. I do want to change it up because I feel like the layout isn't very inspiring to me. I feel like a sort of gradient. If you would like to see that in a short, me like doing it, reorganizing it, I can do that. But yeah, I feel like doing it lightest to darkest would feel more creatively inspiring to me. So I really, really enjoy these, and I think that this was like 12 quid. And again, it's got the added cost to a Samplr of it being magnetic and every single shade being separate. That's an incredible, incredible cost. And they've still managed to create this for 12 quid. And they've got four palettes now. So again, there's a variety. If you like cool tones, they have a cool toned one that's like blue and grey and silver, very like metallic-y looking. That's not my vibe, but beautiful. Absolutely love the Energy palette. So next up, this one was joint first place in 2024 for my favourites. I don't even know if you can still get this, but Blend Bunny and Robert Welsh did a thing with this. I love this palette. So this is the Divination palette, and again, this feels sort of seasonless to me, but autumnal for this whole row. You've got all of your deep, dark jewel tones. These two shimmers are incredible. I love if you've seen my channel, you know I love purple and green together, and this is a palette that I use a lot for that sort of a look, because this purple with the greens just scratches an itch in my brain. It just does it for me. And again, the quality of Blend Bunny is incredible. I love this layout with the lighter shimmers, the light matte, the mid matte, the dark matte, and then the darker shimmers. This feels cohesive. This feels organized. This just feels incredible to me. I love this whole colour story. I've said it before, I would take off that grey row at the bottom. I don't know what I would put in, but I don't really use these greys, or rather the matte greys. I do use the brighter, nice little pop on the inner corner. I do use the bright shimmer, but the matte greys I don't really use. Again, just personal preference, not my jam. I like the browns, I like the warmer tones. I love this mustard. Feels very, very autumnal, but also I have used this all year. There isn't a season that has gone past that I haven't reached for this and felt it was sort of suitable for the season. I really, really enjoyed that one. And that was the first one that I ever tried from Blend Bunny. And I'm there. I love it. So this one is also from Bella Beauty Bar. And I do want to do, again, at some point, probably next month, I do want to do a comparison between the Ocean Jewel and the Dark Dreamscape. In fact, I'll get it in a second. But this, again, it's got the jewel tones that feel so autumnal, but it's also got the brights, it's also got the multi-chromes, the beautiful shimmers, the beautiful mattes. This one I feel leans a little bit more cool tone, like the matte shades, the more like neutrally browns are more grey toned, so I would personally swap those for slightly warmer tones. However, again, seasonless variety. You've got those bright neon pastel shades that just look incredible, packed right onto the inner corner for like a bright, summery, airy, beachy sort of a look, but you've also got the deepest, darkest, richest purple shades. And whilst I'm thinking ahead, let me get Dark Dreamscape so that I can, because I haven't even, like, it's just sort of in my head that I think that these will be similar. Let's have a look. A little bit, but also Dark Dreamscape has those more peachy tones. Let me see if I can do this without blinding you. So this one is Ocean Jewel and this one is Dark Dreamscape. So sort of similar, sort of different, both similar vibes. You've got similar tones, but not so much that I feel I would be happy getting rid of basically either of these. I love them both. I feel like Dark Dreamscape is actually potentially a little bit brighter. The Ocean Jewel goes darker, especially with the shimmers. But then there are dark shimmers in Dark Dreamscape as well. I love both. Don't make me choose, because I'm not gonna. Right, on to the first of many Beauty Bay palettes. This is Wilderness. This is the one that they sort of relaunched recently for an autumn release. Again, it's got the pumpkin spice colours, it's got all of the greens. I love that this has got more of the red tones. Again, I don't really use the blues all that much because that's just not, I live in the bottom 2/3 of this palette. But Beauty Bay are a strange one because this is an older colour story that they've re-released. So it is new, but it's also old. They're colour stories, and I was trying to think when the colour stories, in my opinion, went downhill, and it started with Reckless Romance. And I can't currently think what the Christmas collection was before that, but Reckless Romance just really missed the mark for me. But before that, I really loved the limited edition collections. Let me know how you feel about Beauté. I'd love to hear, because their limited edition palettes recently have just not hit the mark. I've been quite disappointed in quite a lot of them, basically since Reckless Romance, which was 2 years ago now. Yeah, and like Botanical, Celestial Charms, I feel like that was universally, like the £20 palette, universally disliked. Even the current one, Dark Lights, I just don't feel inspired by it. Wilderness, however, I really feel inspired by this. It's bright, it's got the variety, it's got the lighter tones, the darker tones, and the mid-tones. You don't have to choose Celestial Charms where you're only getting every single shade of dark purple. You don't have to choose Botanical that's every single shade of grey. You don't have to choose. You've got everything that you could need. Beauté need to hire me, okay? I'm just going to say it. They need to hire somebody who's actually going to put the palette together and try and create a look with it. I feel like that whole step has been missing. They're putting the colour story together like as an idea in their brain, but they're not actually seeing it as a completed idea. Like, it's just weird at the minute. It's just strange, and I'm not enjoying it. Stop the world, I want to get off. Please, Beauté, get back to what you're good at, which is a variety of colours in one £20 palette. Light tones, dark tones, mid-tones, shimmers. Wilderness got it right. Everything else recently has been a bit off. Just a little bit, not quite there. So, before I move on, I'm going to talk about some Cosmic Beauty palettes. However, I have to caveat this by saying, yes, I have ordered the new one. What is it? Starlight Society. I have ordered it as I am filming this. It's, what day is it? It is Sunday, the 19th of October. I've bought it. Obviously it hasn't shipped. I paid for it, like it launched hours ago. Obviously it hasn't shipped yet. I'm not expecting it to. That will be a favourite. I will insert a picture here of that palette. Look at that palette. She is beauty, she is grace. I want her on my face. I cannot wait for that palette. I don't know at this point if you will have seen that review yet, if I will have that palette by the time this comes out. I just know already in my soul that I'm going to love that palette. And that will be fighting Dark Dreamscape. I already can tell that Starlight Society and Dark Dreamscape are going to be fighting each other for my #1 spot at the end of the year in my palette ranking. And I'm already like, don't make me choose because I love them both. Last year I had 2 favourites. This year I'm having 2 favourites, and it will probably be those 2. So, on to the palettes that I do have out in front of me. First up, and again, I'm just going to say, I don't know if any of these are still available. Cosmic Beauty are a UK indie brand. They are still a fairly small brand. The restocks are as quick as they can make them, but quite often it is sometime in between restocks, so I don't know if any of these are available. I hope that they are, because I love all of these, starting with Muse. Firstly, look at the packaging. I love the packaging. I love the design of this one. And the colour story, of course I love it because it's green. I don't even really wear a lot of pinks, but I do find myself very inspired by the pinks in this, because I feel it's very easy to complement them with the greens. I also just absolutely want to live all of my life in this shade Antique down at the bottom. I mean, you can see the dip that's in that. This one is slightly more cool toned, but you've still got the warm from like the mustardy shades. Some of the browns are a little bit warmer. I find that the shimmers in this lean a little bit more cool tone, like this Antique shade. Oh, let me swatch it because I just absolutely love her. She's shifty and she is beautiful, but it is a little bit more cool toned, and it is like adaptable, so you can put it over whatever. I'm not going to swatch every shade that I love because this video is already 20 minutes long, but definitely if you like more cool tones and you like the idea of a little bit of colour but not full saturation colour like what clearly I enjoy, this is more of a desaturated amount of colour. It's more greyish, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I love the colour story here. Again, you've got your light, you've got your dark, you've got your mid, you've got your shimmers, you've got your duochromes, you've got everything. And this one, if I'm going slightly more cool tone, more neutral rather than like full cool tone versus warm, this is a beautiful, beautiful option. Next up is Undergrowth. Again, I love green. This has green. I really enjoy this one, again, because it's got those warm greens. It also has more like a few, like sprinkled in there, a few slightly more cool tone greens. I really, really enjoy this mint matte shade on the top corner. Again, I would absolutely just use it in the way that I've used the blue today, as a bright pop of something right on the inner corner, whack it across the lid, big black wing, call it a day. I love the like poopy browns. I love a poopy brown. I really enjoy the like slightly coppery, warm, neutrally sort of browns. Can be absolutely a very neutral, everyday, office glam sort of appropriate look. That is not me. This is an everyday look for me. Okay? I really, really think that a lot of people would get a lot of use out of Undergrowth because it's just neutral enough, but if you want a little bit of something, I really feel like Undergrowth is your gal, especially if you've got blue eyes, if you've got brown eyes, if you've got grey eyes. Oh my gosh, this on grey eyes. Oh, that would be delicious. That would be so good. I mean, obviously you can wear greens if you've got green eyes. I am not the person to tell you that you can't wear green. I will always tell you that you can wear green. I mean, look at my nails. I always get green nails. Green is my happy colour. I would paint my whole house green if I could. I don't know what my husband would say about that. Frankly, he hasn't got a choice. I love this palette. I need to move on. So, next up, again, if you're wanting something that is neutral with a twist, Nudetrals. They do also have cool trolls. Again, cool tones just aren't my jam. This is exceptional to me, and I have to mention Radiant. I have to do it. I have to swatch it. I'm not going to swatch every shade in every palette, but Radiant is sort of similar to Antique actually, where it's slightly sort of sheer, it adapts to whatever you want, and then when it catches the light, so this is Radiant and this is Antique from Muse. Look at that bright, fiery orange. Oh, it's incredible. It's incredible. And again, I just whacked that all over the lid. Big black wing, something a little bit darker on the outer corner. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. If you want to try something a little bit spicy, but you're still very much in your brown eyeshadow neutral era, I feel like you would probably really, really like this one. It's got a few little pops of something, but you can absolutely just do a very, very basic, everyday, autumnal, warm glam. This just lights a fire under my behind and makes me so inspired for autumn makeup, because it's those warmer tones that I just love. Oh. It really brings out the colour in your eyes if you've got blue eyes as well. And would also with green eyes. Every eye colour. I just feel like warm tones, like I feel like everybody looks incredible in warm tones. I know so many of you will disagree, but I love it. Okay, so next up we have got another indie brand, and this one is Beauty Moon Cosmetics. This is the Medusa palette. I really haven't reached for this one all that much, but this palette screams autumnal makeup, autumn colours. Like, tell me that leaves on the trees are not currently these beautiful, beautiful colours. I'm trying to like angle this so it's not reflecting insanely off my ring light, but the colours in this are incredible. This Venom Veil shade up at the top here is so shifty and so bright and just, oh, it's just incredible. Again, another one that I just whack all over the lid. I love purple and green together. I know, I've already said it, but this palette just has everything for a more deeper, autumnal, sort of richer colour story. I feel like if your skin tone was slightly more mid to deep, you would probably get a lot more use out of this than I feel like I can. This leans very, very dark. This is the glam, the dark smoky eye. To me, this, just looking at it, like first impression, felt very, very intimidating because it was so dark. There are pops of like lighter shades, of course there are, but I don't struggle, that's not the right way to say it, but it is a lot more dark, it is a lot deeper, but autumnal makeup quite often is that for me. And the shimmers in this are just absolutely beautiful. The mattes are incredible. And I need to leave this one out. I need to be using this one more because it is just beautiful for autumn. Then let's move on to the last three. All three here are £42 from Beauté. And the first one I don't actually think you can get on the Beauté app anymore, but I think you can get it on their TikTok shop. This is the Firey 2.0. I think the packaging has changed for these as well. I always do a pumpkin spice eye look, and for the last 2 years I think I have used this palette. This was the first year that I haven't used this palette for my pumpkin spice eye look. If you like warm tones, if you like oranges and mustards and berry tones and the warm browns, this has everything. And again, it doesn't have, it's got one sort of special shade, but it's not incredibly shifty. This has incredible mattes with the most insane pigment, but also blend out like a dream. The most incredible shimmers, but also some of the shades are a little bit like topper shades. And it's just so bright and so juicy. This absolutely is a summer palette for me as well. I love this palette in summer. You can do like a sunset eye. You can do something very quick, just whack an orange shade across the lid. Also put it onto your cheeks and like blend it in with the eyeshadow a little bit. I love doing that. But yes, it's got everything that you could need in autumn, in my opinion. And also like neon yellows as like a nice pop on the inner corner. This pile on my floor is getting substantial. Then next up is the Rich palette. What have I got all over this? Don't mind the mess, I live here. The Rich palette. If you like more of the berry tones, if you want the warmer tones but not necessarily with the oranges, you want something again that's a little bit more sort of desaturated but still has the warmth. And this also has more of like the more neutral leaning pink shades. This is so beautiful. Again, I feel very inspired by this to do sort of cranberry, mulberry, mulled wine sort of looks. Again, I don't know if this is one, I don't think I've actually used this season, like this year I should say, but there are so many beautiful colours in this. I actually think, was it last year or the year before? I think it might have been the year before. I used this in my, if I was getting married this year, this is the makeup I would choose. I use this one because it's the beautiful warmer tones. You've got all of the deep tones that you could ever need. I feel like this does lean quite bridal. You could absolutely do a variety of different bridal looks with this palette. And again, it's just got your lights, your darks, your midtones, shimmers, absolutely sorted. It's got so much variety in it. And with these palettes, I always recommend the 42 pans because I would feel like I was missing something. In the smaller palettes, like in the 16 or the 9 pan palettes, I started with those, with the earthy, the berry and the midnight palette. And I very quickly traded those in for the 42 pans because although they are a great sort of more curated selection, a smaller amount of colours, I am the kind of gal that will always benefit from having more options. I always want more options. So that is the Rich palette. And then lastly, this one came out in the summer, I do believe. This pile on my floor is about to topple over. Yeah, this one came out in the summer. I did not like the 20 pan version of Botanical. However, the 42 pan, the greens, the warm tones, a few slightly sort of deeper purpley berry tones, but the greens, I actually, if you had to make me choose between Botanical or Earthy, I would choose Botanical just because it's got, I feel like, more variety in the other tones that aren't green. I feel like this one has got more variety in it and I really enjoy that. Again, you've got some beautiful bright pops from both shimmers and mattes. You've got bright pops of sort of pastel-y shades, but also like deep dark greens. Just do it for me. The like earthy sort of bottle greens and things like that I love, but I also love more like teal tones, and Botanical just has everything for me. So that is my autumnal eyeshadow palette roundup. All of these are ones that I really feel like I get a lot of inspiration for autumnal makeup, and I would love to hear what you think. Are any of these your favourites as well for this time of year, or do you have any other favourites that you think I need to check out? And also Starlight Society, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm also so excited to do more looks with Dark Dreamscape because it's just the most incredible curated colour story to me. I personally just find it so inspiring at this time of year, but also all year. So I want to know all of your thoughts. I would love to hear what you think of all of this selection down below. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye bye.